Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Let me start with a question. How many years have passed you by, not because you didn't have goals, but because you didn't take action? Another year has gone, and here we stand on the brink of a new one. But my friends, the question remains, what will you do differently this year to ensure you don't waste another one? Time is a resource unlike any other. It's unique because it's finite, irreplaceable, and entirely impartial. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you have, we are all given the same 24 hours in a day. And yet, while some people use their time to build empires, nurture meaningful relationships, or create legacies, others let it slip through their fingers, unnoticed and undervalued. The difference isn't in the amount of time we have, it's in how we use it. The most striking thing about time is its non-renewable nature. You can earn back money you've lost, you can regain your health with effort and care. But time, once it's gone forever. And yet, how often do we treat time as though it were endless? We say, I'll get to that next week, or I'll start next month, or the most dangerous of all, I have plenty of time. But do you? How many more years, months, or even days do you know for certain you have? We live as though the clock will reset at our convenience, but the truth is, it never does. Time marches forward, unyielding and indifferent. Consider this. If someone were to give you $86,400 every morning with one condition, that whatever you don't spend by the end of the day vanishes, you'd likely become a master of resourcefulness. You'd plan every dollar, invest wisely, and ensure none of it went to waste. Yet every day life gives you 8, 6, 4, 0, 0 seconds, and too often we squander them, letting them dissolve into nothingness without a thought. How would your life change if you treated each second, each minute, and each hour with the same urgency and care you'd give to that money? The way we use our time is ultimately a reflection of what we value. If you truly valued personal growth, how much time would you spend scrolling through social media versus reading a book or learning a new skill? If you genuinely cared about your health, how many hours would you spend watching TV instead of exercising or preparing nutritious meals? The harsh reality is this: where you spend your time reveals your priorities. If you find yourself saying, I don't have time, what you're really saying is, it's not important enough to me. That's a hard truth to swallow, but an essential one. Now, some may argue, but I need to relax, or I deserve some downtime. And they're absolutely right. Rest and leisure are crucial, but they should be intentional, not default. Rest is what prepares you to give your best effort. Leisure should be enriching, not mindless. There's a big difference between taking a walk to clear your mind and zoning out for hours in front of the television. Both involve time, but only one of them replenishes you. When you choose intentional rest, you're not wasting time. You're investing in your ability to use it more effectively. Many people also fall into the trap of thinking that they need a large block of free time to start something meaningful. I don't have enough time, they say, as though an hour a day isn't enough to make a difference. But here's the truth. Small pockets of time, used wisely, can add up to massive results. Let's say you commit to reading for just 15 minutes a day. Over the course of a year, that adds up to more than 91 hours of reading. How many books could you finish in that time? What new ideas could you discover? How much could your knowledge expand? The problem isn't a lack of time. It's a lack of intentionality. Another critical factor in valuing your time is recognizing and eliminating distractions. We live in a world designed to pull our attention in 100 directions at once. Social media, emails, notifications, endless entertainment options. All of these compete for your focus, and all of them eat away at your most valuable resource. Imagine if you spent just 30 minutes a day less on distractions. and redirected that time towards something meaningful. Over the course of a year, that's over 180 hours. What could you accomplish in that time? A new skill? A new level of fitness? A deeper relationship with someone you care about? Procrastination is perhaps the greatest thief of time. We tell ourselves, I'll do it later, but later often becomes never. The task that could be done in 15 minutes today becomes a source of stress tomorrow. The dream you put off for a year becomes a regret that lingers for decades. One of the best habits you can develop is the habit of action, of doing things now rather than delaying them. After all, procrastination is the author of a lot of failures and uncertainty. When you act immediately, you not only save time, but also build momentum, which carries you forward to greater achievements. Finally, valuing your time means understanding that it's not just about what you do, but who you become in the process. Time is the currency you spend to build your character, your knowledge, and your relationships. Every decision you make about how to use your time is a decision about the kind of person you're becoming. Are you spending your time in ways that align with your goals and values? Are you growing, learning, and contributing to something bigger than yourself? Or are you letting days slip by, hoping for a better future without taking the steps to create it? The truth is, time is passing whether you use it wisely or not. A year from now, you'll either be celebrating the results of your efforts or regretting the opportunities you let pass by. The choice is yours. But let me remind you of this. You can't control how much time you have left, but you can control how you use the time you have. Don't waste another moment, because every second counts. Success is not a matter of grand gestures or sweeping transformations. It's built on the small, consistent actions you take every single day. Most people look at success and see the end result, a thriving business, a fit and healthy body, a strong and happy relationship. But they often overlook the daily disciplines that created it. Those small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but compounded over time, they yield extraordinary outcomes. This is the power of small changes, and it is one of the most important lessons you can learn if you want to create lasting success in your life. The challenge is that small changes don't feel powerful at first. They're easy to dismiss, easy to procrastinate on, and easy to overlook. If you save $5 today, it doesn't make you rich. If you skip one unhealthy meal, it doesn't transform your health. And if you practice a skill for just 10 minutes, it doesn't make you an expert. Because the impact isn't immediate. Many people don't see the value in those small actions. But this short-term thinking is exactly what keeps people stuck. Small disciplines may not look like much in the moment, but over time, they can completely change your trajectory. Consider this: if an airplane sets off on a journey and adjusts its course by just 1 degree, that change might be almost imperceptible at first. But over the course of thousands of miles, that 1 degree shift can mean the difference between landing in New York or Los Angeles. The same principle applies to your life. Small, consistent changes in your habits and behaviors may seem insignificant at first, but they can lead you to a completely different destination over time. The key is to stay committed, even when it feels like nothing is happening. One of the biggest obstacles people face when trying to implement small changes is impatience. We live in a world of instant gratification, where we expect immediate results for our efforts. But real change takes time, and the results often come slowly at first. Imagine planting a seed. You don't see the sprout the next day, and for weeks, it seems like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the roots are growing, building a foundation for what's to come. Small changes work the same way. They may not produce visible results right away, but they are laying the groundwork for future success. That if you want to obtain the benefits of a successful mindset and attitude of gratitude, it starts with small changes. Take, for example, the habit of reading. Reading just 10 pages a day may not seem like much, but over the course of a year, that adds up to 3,650 pages, or roughly 12 to 15 books. Imagine how much knowledge you could gain, how many new ideas you could discover, and how much your thinking could expand simply by committing to this small daily discipline. The same principle applies to fitness. Exercising for just 30 minutes a day might not feel like a significant effort, but over time, it can dramatically improve your health, energy levels, and overall quality of life. The key is consistency. Small changes only work if you stick with them. Another important aspect of small changes is the ripple effect they create. One positive habit often leads to another. For example, if you start eating a healthy breakfast each morning, you might find yourself making healthier food choices throughout the day. If you begin your day with a 10-minute walk, you might feel more motivated to stay active later on. Small changes have a way of creating momentum, and that momentum can carry you toward even bigger successes. Well, let's not overlook the power of small negative changes too. Just as positive habits can build you up, negative habits can tear you down. Skipping the gym one day might not seem like a big deal, but if it turns into a week, a month, or a year, it can lead to significant consequences. The same goes for spending habits. Buying a coffee every day might not seem like much, but over time it adds up to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The small choices you make every day, whether positive or negative, are shaping your future. The question is, are they shaping it in the direction you want? One way to stay consistent with small changes is to focus on the process, not the outcome. When you're too fixated on the end result, it's easy to get discouraged if you don't see immediate progress. But when you focus on the process, on simply doing the small actions every day, you take the pressure off yourself and allow the results to come naturally. For example, instead of obsessing over losing 20 pounds, focus on drinking more water, eating one healthy meal a day, or taking a daily walk. These small, manageable steps are much easier to sustain than a massive overhaul, and they're far more effective in the long run. It is also helpful to track your progress. Even small changes can feel significant when you see how they add up over time. Keep a journal, use a habit tracking app, or simply mark an X on your calendar each day you stick to your new habit. This visual reminder of your consistency can be incredibly motivating and can help you stay on track, even when it feels like you're not making progress. The beauty of small changes is that anyone can make them. You don't need to be wealthy, talented, or experienced to start. All you need is a commitment to take one small step in the right direction every single day. Over time, those small steps will accumulate, and you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. But remember, the magic isn't in the size of the step. It's in the consistency. Every day, you're presented with countless opportunities to make small changes. Will you take the stairs instead of the elevator? Will you spend 10 minutes reading instead of scrolling through social media? Will you save $5 instead of spending it on something you don't really need? These decisions may seem trivial, but they are the building blocks of your future. Success isn't about doing one big thing right. It's about doing 1,000 small things right, over and over again. But don't underestimate the power of small changes. Start today. Choose one small habit you can commit to and stick with it. It might not feel like much at first, but trust the process. Over time, those small actions will compound, and you'll achieve more than you ever thought possible. Education is one of the most powerful tools for transforming your life, but not all education is created equal. Formal education, as important as it can be, is often limited in scope. It teaches you to follow rules, memorize facts, and perform specific tasks, which are essential for building a career or navigating certain aspects of life. However, self-education, the deliberate act of learning beyond the classroom, is what separates those who merely get by from those who thrive. You find the truth. If you want to create a life of growth, fulfillment, and success, you must commit to self-education as a lifelong journey. The beauty of self-education is that it puts you in the driver's seat. In formal education, you're told what to learn, when to learn it, and how to demonstrate your understanding. But self-education is different. It allows you to pursue your own interests, passions, and goals. It's about taking responsibility for your growth, seeking out knowledge, and applying it in meaningful ways. You're no longer bound by a curriculum or a teacher's expectations. Instead, you're free to design your own learning path, one that aligns with your unique vision for your life. One of the most remarkable things about self-education is how accessible it is. We live in an age where information is more abundant than ever before. Books, podcasts, online courses, webinars, and articles are at your fingertips, often at little to no cost. You no longer need to enroll in a university or spend thousands of dollars to learn a valuable skill. All you need is curiosity, discipline, and a willingness to take the initiative. With just a few clicks, you can access the knowledge of the greatest minds in history. The question is not whether the resources exist, it's whether you're willing to use them. Self-education is also incredibly versatile. It's not confined to any one area of life. You can learn to manage your finances, build stronger relationships, improve your health, or develop a new skill, all through self-education. Let's say you want to start a business. Formal education might teach you the basics of accounting, marketing, or management, but self-education allows you to dive deeper. You can read books by successful entrepreneurs, listen to their interviews, take specialized online courses, and learn from their experiences. Through self-education, you gain insights and strategies that go beyond what a traditional classroom can offer. But self-education isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about applying it. Knowledge by itself has limited value. What truly matters is how you use what you've learned to improve your life or achieve your goals. Imagine reading dozens of books on personal finance, but never creating a budget or investing your money. In that case, all the knowledge in the world won't help you. The true power of self-education lies in action. It's about taking what you've learned and putting it into practice, even if you don't get it right the first time. Mistakes are part of the learning process, and each one brings you closer to mastery. Another critical aspect of self-education is its ability to foster adaptability. The world is constantly changing, and the skills that were valuable yesterday might not be as relevant tomorrow. In such a dynamic environment, those who rely solely on formal education risk falling behind. Self-education, on the other hand, allows you to stay ahead of the curve. By continuously learning and adapting, you can remain relevant in a world that rewards those who are flexible and open to growth. Whether it's learning a new technology, understanding emerging trends, or developing soft skills like communication and empathy, self-education keeps you prepared for whatever comes next. One of the most common barriers to self-education is the misconception that it requires an extraordinary amount of time. Many people believe they're too busy to commit to learning something new. But the truth is, self-education doesn't require hours of study every day. Small, consistent efforts can make a significant difference over time. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day dedicated to reading, watching a tutorial, or practicing a skill can add up to tremendous progress over weeks, months, and years. The key is to prioritize learning and integrate it into your daily routine. Instead of scrolling through social media or watching TV, you can use that time to feed your mind and expand your horizons. Another important element of self-education is learning how to think critically. In today's world where misinformation is rampant, it's more important than ever to evaluate the credibility of the sources you rely on. Self-education isn't about blindly absorbing information. It's about questioning, analyzing, and synthesizing what you learn. It's about developing the ability to think for yourself, rather than relying on others to tell you what to believe. This skill not only helps you make better decisions, but also empowers you to navigate life's complexities with confidence and clarity. Self-education also cultivates a sense of independence. When you take charge of your own learning, you're no longer reliant on external systems or structures to guide your growth. You become self-sufficient, capable of acquiring the knowledge and skills you need to achieve your goals. This independence is incredibly empowering, as it allows you to pursue opportunities on your own terms. It also fosters a sense of ownership over your success. When you've worked hard to teach yourself something, you take greater pride in your accomplishments, because you know they're the result of your own efforts. Finally, self-education instills a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. With a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to avoid. You understand that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone to greater achievement. This mindset is essential for success in any area of life because it keeps you motivated, resilient, and open to new possibilities. In the end, self-education is not just a tool for achieving success. It's a way of life. It's about embracing the idea that learning never stops and that every day presents an opportunity to grow. It's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your future through the choices you make and the knowledge you acquire. Whether you're pursuing a personal passion, advancing your career, or simply striving to become the best version of yourself, self-education is the key to unlocking your potential. So don't wait for someone else to teach you what you need to know. Take the initiative, start learning, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the critical step that turns dreams into reality, ideas into achievements, and potential into progress. Without action, even the most brilliant plans and aspirations are meaningless. Yet taking action is often the hardest part for many people. They wait for the perfect moment. For many people, they wait for the perfect moment, for more motivation, or for some external factor to align, not realizing that progress rarely comes from waiting. Instead, it comes from stepping forward, even when conditions aren't ideal. One of the biggest reasons people hesitate to take action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It's natural to feel these things, but they become a problem when they hold you back. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every successful person you admire has experienced setbacks and mistakes along the way. The difference is that they didn't let those failures stop them. They learned, adapted, and kept moving forward. Action helps you overcome fear because it shifts your focus from worrying about what might go wrong to actively creating what can go right. Another common obstacle to taking action is the belief that you need to have everything figured out before you begin. This is a myth. The reality is that clarity often comes through action, not before it. You don't need to see the entire path to take the first step. In fact, waiting for perfect clarity can paralyze you. When you take action, you gain experience, and that experience gives you the insights and knowledge you need to make better decisions. It's a cycle. Action leads to clarity, which leads to more informed action. Consider the concept of momentum. When an object is at rest, it takes more effort to get it moving than it does to keep it in motion. The same principle applies to your goals. The hardest part is often just getting started, but once you do, the effort becomes easier to sustain. Small actions create momentum, and that momentum can carry you further than you ever thought possible. Even a single small step in the right direction can break the inertia and set you on a path to success. The idea of taking action is often romanticized as a dramatic leap of faith, but in reality, it's usually a series of small, consistent steps. These small steps might seem insignificant on their own, but over time, they compound into meaningful progress. For example, If you want to write a book, you don't need to write the entire manuscript in one sitting. Start with 1 page a day. By the end of the year, you'll have a complete draft. Similarly, if you want to improve your fitness, you don't need to run a marathon on your first day. Start with a 10-minute walk. The key is consistency. Small, sustained actions over time yield far greater results than sporadic bursts of effort. Procrastination is one of the biggest enemies of action. It's easy to justify putting things off with excuses like, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm too busy today." But tomorrow often turns into next week, next month, or even next year. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time to start. Life will always be busy, challenges will always arise, and conditions will rarely be ideal. If you wait for the perfect moment, you may end up waiting forever. The best time to take action is now. Even imperfect action is better than no action at all because it moves you closer to your goal. One powerful way to overcome procrastination and take action is to focus on your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? What will it mean for your life? When your why is strong enough, it becomes a source of motivation that propels you forward, even when you don't feel like taking action. Your why gives you a sense of purpose, and purpose is a powerful antidote to hesitation and doubt. Whenever you feel stuck, reconnect with your why and let it remind you of what's at stake. Another strategy for taking action is to break your goal into smaller, more manageable steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming, and that overwhelm can lead to inaction. But when you break a goal down into smaller tasks, it becomes much more achievable. Each small task you complete builds your confidence and reinforces the belief that you're capable of achieving your larger goal. Each small task you once thought was impossible becomes your belief in your larger goal. The more you believe in your goal, this approach not only makes the process less daunting, but also creates a sense of progress and accomplishment along the way. It's also important to remember that action doesn't have to be perfect to be effective. Too often, people get caught up in perfectionism, believing that their actions need to be flawless before they're worth taking. But perfectionism is just another form of procrastination. Progress, not perfection, should be your goal. Every step you take, no matter how small or imperfect, brings you closer to where you want to be. And as you take more steps, you'll learn, grow, and refine your approach. Accountability can also be a powerful motivator for action. When you share your goals with someone you trust, you create a sense of responsibility to follow through. This doesn't mean you need to broadcast your plans to the world, but having a mentor, friend, or partner who supports you can make a significant difference. They can offer encouragement, hold you accountable, and celebrate your progress with you. Taking action also requires resilience. Not every step will lead to immediate success, and that's okay. Setbacks and challenges are part of the journey. What matters is how you respond to them. When things don't go as planned, don't view it as a reason to give up. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn and adjust your approach. Resilience is what allows you to keep moving forward, even when the path is difficult. In the end, action is what transforms dreams into reality. It's not enough to think about what you want or plan for it. You have to do something about it. The good news is that you don't have to take massive leaps or have everything figured out to start. You just need to take the first step, no matter how small. Once you do, you'll create momentum, gain clarity, and build confidence. So don't wait. Start today. Take action and watch as your efforts compound into extraordinary results over time. Your environment has a profound influence on your success, mindset, and overall quality of life. It silently shapes your thoughts, behaviors, and habits, often without you even realizing it. The people you spend time with, the places you inhabit, and the ideas you expose yourself to all play a critical role in determining your outcomes. If you're striving for growth, success, or fulfillment, you must take an active role in shaping your environment to support those goals. Neglecting this aspect can lead to stagnation or even regression, no matter how ambitious your plans may be. The people around you are one of the most significant influences in your environment. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This idea highlights the importance of the company you keep. The attitudes, habits, and perspectives of those closest to you have a way of rubbing off. If you surround yourself with negative, complacent, or unmotivated people, their influence can pull you down. Their doubts and limitations can start to feel like your own. Conversely, when you surround yourself with positive, driven, and successful individuals, their energy and mindset can elevate your own. Building a supportive network requires intentionality. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you to grow, and believe in your potential. This doesn't mean abandoning old relationships, but it does mean setting boundaries with those who consistently drain your energy or undermine your confidence. Look for mentors, peers, or communities that align with your goals and values. These relationships will serve as a source of encouragement, wisdom, and accountability as you pursue your aspirations. Your physical environment is another crucial factor. The spaces where you live and work should be designed to promote focus, creativity, and productivity. A cluttered, chaotic space can lead to a cluttered, chaotic mind. On the other hand, a clean, organized, and inspiring environment can enhance your clarity and efficiency. Pay attention to the details. Your workspace, lighting, and even the colors around you can impact your mood and performance. If your current environment isn't conducive to your goals, take steps to improve it. Sometimes, even small changes like adding a plant, rearranging furniture, or creating a dedicated area for focused work can make a big difference. In today's digital age, your mental environment is equally important. The content you consume, whether through social media, news, books, or entertainment, shapes your beliefs, attitudes, and priorities. Be mindful of what you allow into your mind. Are you feeding it with content that uplifts, educates, and inspires you? Or are you consuming negativity, distractions, and trivialities? Curate your mental environment by choosing to engage with ideas and information that align with your vision for your life. This might mean following thought leaders, listening to motivational podcasts, or reading books that expand your knowledge and perspective. Habits are another extension of your environment. The routines and systems you build into your daily life are often influenced by your surroundings. For example, if your kitchen is stocked with junk food, you're more likely to make unhealthy choices. But if you fill it with nutritious options, healthy eating becomes easier. Similarly, if your schedule is filled with distractions, it becomes harder to focus on what matters most. Take a close look at your habits and the environmental cues that trigger them. If certain aspects of your environment are enabling bad habits, make adjustments to encourage better ones. One powerful way to leverage your environment is to create what some call success triggers. These are intentional cues or reminders built into your surroundings that prompt positive actions. For instance, placing a book on your bedside table can remind you to read before bed instead of scrolling on your phone. Setting out your workout clothes the night before can make it easier to exercise in the morning. These small adjustments may seem simple, but they can have a significant impact on your consistency and discipline over time. It's also important to recognize the role of energy in your environment. Every person, place, and object carries a certain energy, and this energy can either drain you or replenish you. Toxic relationships, negative workspaces, or unresolved clutter can weigh you down emotionally and mentally. Conversely, uplifting people, inspiring spaces, and intentional order can energize and motivate you. Take stock of the energy in your environment. If something consistently drains you, ask yourself whether it's time to let it go or make a change. While shaping your environment, remember that it's not just about removing negatives, it's also about adding positives. Surround yourself with things that remind you of your goals and values. Vision boards, affirmations, and inspirational quotes can serve as powerful motivators. Incorporate elements that bring you joy, whether it's art, music, or nature. These positive touches don't just make your environment more pleasant, they reinforce your commitment to your vision. Your environment also includes your inner circle of influence. The ideas, principles, and standards you hold yourself to. This internal environment is shaped by your mindset and self-talk. Cultivate an inner dialogue that supports and empowers you. Instead of focusing on limitations, focus on possibilities. Instead of criticizing yourself for setbacks, acknowledge your efforts and look for lessons. Your internal environment sets the tone for how you engage with the world around you. Lastly, remember that your environment is dynamic. As you grow and evolve, your needs and goals will change, and your environment should adapt accordingly. Regularly evaluate whether your surroundings are still serving you. Are the people in your life still aligned with your values? Is your workspace still conducive to your productivity? Are the habits and routines you've built still effective? If not, don't be afraid to make changes. Growth often requires letting go of what no longer serves you to make room for what does. In the end, your environment is not something you passively accept. It's something you actively create. By surrounding yourself with the right people, spaces, and influences, you can build a foundation that supports your aspirations and fuels your progress. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. When you take control of your environment, you take control of your life. Every small adjustment you make brings you closer to the life you envision for yourself. So take the time to shape your surroundings with care and watch as they shape you in return, unquote.